Let me ask you something. How many times have you set a massive, incredibly ambitious goal? You know the drill, a complete life overhaul starting on a crisp Monday morning. But then by Wednesday afternoon, you find yourself completely exhausted, overwhelmed, and slipping right back into your old habits. Well, research actually backs this up, showing that most New Year's resolutions completely fail by the second week of January. We constantly overestimate what we can power through in a single, perfectly planned day, yet we dramatically underestimate the extraordinary transformations we can achieve in just 1 year. If you're ambitious but keep finding yourself overwhelmed and feeling guilty about not doing enough, I really want you to know you aren't alone. And more importantly, you aren't lazy. You literally just have the wrong operating system installed. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to unpack the science-backed, sustainable systems that top performers, neuroscientists, and productivity experts use to quietly and consistently level up. We're tossing out that exhausting all-or-nothing mentality. Instead, we're going to explore how to build a rock-solid framework for extraordinary, infinite success. Get ready because we're diving deep into the psychology of how tiny changes yield absolutely massive results. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the power of Kaizen, move into the Keystone Habit Domino, build a high-performance morning, learn how to win the internal war, and finally, master deep work. Let's get right into it. Okay, Section 1, the power of Kaizen. To kick things off, we really have to understand why our massive, ambitious plans usually fail right out of the gate. Look, when you try to change 10 things about your life all at once, waking up at 5 a.m., hitting the gym, reading a book a week, and eating perfectly, your brain gets completely overwhelmed by the immense cognitive load. It literally shuts down. And when your brain panics and shuts down, it immediately defaults to what's easy and familiar, like staying on the couch and endlessly scrolling on your phone. The ultimate antidote to this whole all-or-nothing trap is a brilliant concept known as Kaizen. It's the Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement, famously used by companies like Toyota to rebuild their manufacturing after World War II. At its core, Kaizen is all about making microscopic, steady, everyday changes. Instead of trying to fix your entire life today, you just focus on getting 1% better. That's it. Just one tiny, almost invisible improvement. And when we look at the math behind this, which was famously popularized by James Clear in his book Atomic Habits, the results are genuinely staggering. If you get just 1% better every single day for 1 year, you don't just become 365% better. Thanks to the incredible power of compounding, you end up a massive 37 times better by the time the year is done. I mean, think about that. Your growth stops being linear and becomes entirely exponential. The tiny changes that feel completely insignificant on day one end up multiplying into a totally unrecognizable, upgraded version of your life by day 365. Which brings us to a harsh but honestly incredibly liberating truth. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Setting goals is the easy part, right? Everyone has goals. But real success isn't about maintaining some impossible heroic burst of motivation. Motivation is just a feeling, and feelings vanish the second you get tired or stressed out. True success is about building a reliable, bulletproof system of tiny habits that carries you forward automatically, even on the days you feel completely drained. Moving right along to Section 2, the Keystone Habit Domino. So if we know we need a system, where do we actually start? The beautiful answer is that you don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to knock over the very first domino. Enter the Keystone Habit. Think about architecture for a second. A keystone is that single wedge-shaped stone placed right at the top center of an arch. It is absolutely fascinating because that one tiny stone locks all the other stones into position, allowing the arch to bear massive weight. Author Charles Duhigg brilliantly applies this to our psychology. A keystone habit is just one small behavioral change that effortlessly triggers a whole cascade of other positive changes. It's the initial spark that lights the fire of your daily routine, unintentionally carrying over into literally every other aspect of your life. Take making your bed as a classic example. Honestly, it feels almost absurdly trivial, but completing that single, seemingly pointless task gives your brain an immediate, very real hit of dopamine and pride. That quick chemical reward encourages you to tackle the very next task on your list. And more importantly, doing it consistently proves to your own brain that you can keep a simple promise to yourself. It weakens your quitter muscle and strengthens your finisher muscle. Over time, this entirely shifts your core identity. Navy SEAL Admiral William McRaven famously champions this exact idea. I mean, why would a highly trained military leader care so deeply about a neatly tucked sheet? Because he knows that making your bed means you have successfully accomplished the first task of your day within 5 minutes of waking up.
These tiny wins aren't just household chores. They are foundational votes for the type of disciplined person you are becoming. You stop being someone who is just trying to be disciplined, and you start actively proving to yourself that you actually are disciplined.
All right, section 3, high performance morning routine. When it comes to mornings, we are going to completely bypass all those crazy internet fads. You absolutely do not need to wake up at 3 a.m. to sit in a freezing ice bath for 3 hours to be successful. Instead, we're going to align our mornings with actual neuroscience. The key to a high-performance morning is understanding the cortisol awakening response. Cortisol is the hormone that naturally drives your focus, energy, and alertness, and it naturally peaks about 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up. When you grab your phone to check your notifications the exact second you open your eyes, you are entirely hijacking this biological window. Think about the absurdity of waking up and immediately reading a stressful work email with one eye open in the dark. You are burning your brain's absolute peak focus window on other people's emergencies, rather than on your own personal growth. So here is the science-backed sequence you should use to actually optimize that window. First up, hydrate with 16 to 20 ounces of water. Your brain physically shrinks overnight from dehydration, which measurably reduces your cognitive function. So drink water before you even think about coffee. Second, seek natural sunlight. Letting light hit your eyes naturally signals your circadian rhythm that it's time to wake up. Third, move deliberately for just 20 minutes. It activates your circulation and immediately improves working memory. Fourth, eat protein. Most people start their day with a sugar-heavy breakfast and completely crash by 10 a.m. Protein stabilizes your blood sugar and feeds your brain continuously. And fifth, fiercely protect that first hour. No phone, no endless social media scrolling, just you and your focus preparing to win the day. This brings us to section 4, winning the internal war. Of course, building these habits is only half the battle, because let's be real, eventually that initial excitement fades. The alarm goes off early, it's freezing cold outside, and your brain starts actively fighting back against your new routine. You essentially have two versions of your brain fighting for control. The brain that desperately wants growth, and the brain that desperately wants comfort. Your comfort brain isn't necessarily lazy, it's just operating like a caveman. It's a deeply ingrained survival mechanism designed to protect you from pain and conserve calories to survive the winter. Because of this, it offers you incredibly convincing, false logic. It whispers, just sleep 10 more minutes, or hey, one scroll on Instagram won't hurt, you earned it. To defeat this ancient survival mechanism, we have to use the law of opposite command. This is a tactical maneuver. When your inner comfort devil suggests something that derails your goals, you must instantly, without any hesitation, command your body to do the exact opposite. When your brain says, sleep 10 more minutes, you must instantly throw off the covers and stand up. When it says, skip the workout today, you're tired, you immediately grab your running shoes. You have to aggressively shock the system, completely bypass the negotiation phase, and physically prove to your brain exactly who is in charge.
This practice builds incredible mental toughness, which brings us to David Goggins' famous 40% rule. When your mind starts screaming that you are completely exhausted, that you have absolutely nothing left to give, you have actually only tapped into about 40% of your true physical and mental capabilities. Seriously, the remaining 60% is blocked by a massive mental stop sign your brain throws up just to keep you perfectly safe and comfortable. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the brain blows it entirely out of proportion. If you push past that initial 40% barrier, you will uncover a massive reserve of untapped potential.
And finally, section 5, mastering deep work focus. Now that we have the mindset and the morning routine dialed in, we have to navigate a fiercely distracted modern world. Focus absolutely must become your ultimate superpower. We often fail because we suffer from shiny object syndrome. That incredibly relatable feeling of abandoning a difficult, frustrating task the exact second a fun, new, seemingly easier idea pops into our head. When that happens, use a parking lot. Just write the distracting idea down on a sheet of paper and tell yourself you'll get to it later. Computer science professor Cal Newport coined the perfect term to combat this lack of focus: deep work. It is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's the space where you create massive new value, permanently level up your skills, and truly move the needle on your biggest goals.
A highly effective way to achieve this state is by using a modified Pomodoro Technique. Basically, you block out 50 minutes of intense, distraction-free deep focus, followed by a 10-minute break. But here's the absolute secret to making this actually work. That 10-minute break must involve absolutely zero stimulation. No checking emails, no looking at your phone, no scrolling social media. You must step away from your desk, stretch, stare out a window, and let your dopamine receptors physically reset. If you flood your brain with cheap social media dopamine during your break, you will never have the focus required to dive back into the hard work.
To make deep work a permanent habit, you need to choose a scheduling philosophy that actually fits your unique life. Monastic is total isolation. Picture a novelist fleeing society to write in a secluded cabin in the woods. Bimodal splits your time. Maybe you do intense deep work Monday through Wednesday and leave your shallow tasks and meetings for Thursday and Friday. Rhythmic means setting the exact same time block every single day without fail, like writing from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. before the rest of the world wakes up. And journalistic is for the incredibly busy out there. It means squeezing intense deep work into any free 30-minute gap you happen to find in your day. Pick the specific framework that fits your reality and fiercely protect that execution time.
Well, the time is going to pass anyway. So are you going to spend the next 365 days waiting for a magical surge of motivation that's just never going to come? Waiting for the perfect schedule and the perfect moment to magically appear out of thin air? Or will you start quietly building your life just 1% at a time, starting tomorrow morning? Stop endlessly planning and start executing your very first microscopic improvement today. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing forward.